Okay, so imagine you're driving down a 4-lane highway, and up ahead of you to the right, there's a red sedan. The sedan is swerving side to side. You think nothing of it, really. And then a yellow convertible in front of him starts slowing down, applies his brakes. You see the red lights coming on, and supposedly he doesn't see it. So the yellow convertible slows down and tries to turn right into his neighborhood, and bam! The red sedan busts right into him, pushes the yellow convertible into a telephone pole. That car is totaled. The driver of the red sedan flies out of the car, and so your nerves are all racked. You stop. You call the police really quick. They come and investigate the situation, and they search his call record and find out that he was texting. These kinds of accidents happen every day. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, in 2008, nearly 6,000 people died in crashes that involved distracted driving. In the book Driver Distraction, it states that cell phone-related crashes are responsible for over $43 billion in costs each year in the United States alone. Based on my intensive research in the past week, I have learned a lot about the dangers of distracted driving and the results it has had to many. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says that there are three main types of distractions: visual, manual, and cognitive. Visual meaning taking your eyes off the road, manual meaning taking your hands off the steering wheel, and cognitive meaning taking your mind off of what you're doing. I'd like everyone to leave here today with a better knowledge of the risks of distracted driving, to hopefully use this information to make better decisions when the time comes, and to make sure you're not tempted while you're doing it. There are many types of driver distractions that you can find that you can partake in while you're driving. The long list consists of things like reaching for a moving object, reading a book, or adjusting your children in the back seat, looking around inside the vehicle, programming a GPS, changing the radio station, applying makeup, shaving, eating, and using your cell phone, and the list goes on and on forever. But all these distractions can be easily avoided. While you are driving down the road, have you ever noticed that solid white line on to the right of you? Well, on the other side of that white line is normally an empty space. This empty space is called a shoulder. Many of us don't know this or don't use this, but this shoulder is here for our use. Many distractions that you encounter while driving, like programming your GPS, changing your radio station, or making a quick phone call, can easily be taken care of just by pulling over to the side, to the shoulder, and fixing the problem you may have. Everyone's had that important piece of paper or McDonald's bag in the car, and your windows are down, and it starts flying around the car, and it distracts everybody. And so to solve this, most people try reaching into the bag and trying to get the bag or get the piece of paper. And this is very distracting. It can be a real threat to you, your car, and to others around you. You may think nothing of it by reaching into the bag just to get it, but of course nobody likes to lose. So once you try to get it and you don't get it, you're determined, and so obviously you keep on trying to get it. It ends up in the trunk. You end up climbing into the trunk to get it, or it's behind you, and you forget that you're driving. And you may not think that you're swerving all around, but you really are, and so your concentration is off the driving, so it's really distracting. And according to kidsincars.org, nearly 91% of cars today are equipped with power windows. So it's funny that someone wouldn't just take that 1 minute to roll up the windows instead of spending countless minutes searching around the car trying to find this bag. And if you're in the very small percentage without countless minutes, or without power windows, remember that shoulder we were talking about? Well, you could just use that. You just pull over, use that. It'll take 1 minute. Another major distraction on the roads today is eating while driving. In the United States today, everyone is rushed. They're either rushed to get to work, or they're rushed to go shopping, or whatever they may be doing. And I'm sure most of you have just gone to the drive-thru at McDonald's and then drove down the road and ate your burger while you were doing it. At first, this may seem like a very harmless action, but consider what you're trying to do while you're doing it. First, you normally put the bag in the other seat until you get on steady road. Then you have to find the food again, grab the bag. You're opening up the wrapper. You're holding one burger in your hand while you're trying to drive. Find napkins to wipe up the Big Mac sauce that you just spilled all over your work clothes. And then you rewrap your trash, put it all in the bag. It becomes somewhat of a distraction. You may not think that you're swerving all over the road while you're trying to eat lunch, but the reason you don't think that is because you weren't even paying attention to the road. You wouldn't know if you were in this lane or that lane or wherever you were. And on top of that, one of the leading distractions today is cell phone usage. Whether it be speaking on your cell phone, texting someone, or just checking your email or checking the internet. If it is a real emergency to use your cell phone, you just need to get into the habit of pulling over, maybe investing in a hands-free way to talk on your cell phone. Many states now have laws against certain types of cell phone usage. According to a report posted in June 2010 by the Governor's Highway Safety Association, 7 states have banned handheld usage, which means that you must use some sort of hands-free method while you use your cell phone. Each of these states, except for Maryland, have banned it as a primary offense. Primary offense meaning that if a police officer sees you using your cell phone, they can pull you over right away, and you will get a fine for that, which could consist of jail time or just a really hundreds of dollars of fines. And in Maryland, it's a secondary offense, so you have to be swerving or doing something. Something has to be going wrong. And many people might use that as an excuse, is like, okay, well, I can use my cell phone, but no, you don't think you're driving poorly, but you might be. You wouldn't even know because you're not paying attention, like we talked about earlier. No state has actually banned all cell phone usage, although 28 states banned novice drivers from all cell phone use. Novice drivers consist of anybody under the age of 18 or in states that use provisional driver's license, anybody that still holds their provisional for learners. And 28 states have banned the use of text messaging, and 24 of them have made it a primary offense. That may seem like really small numbers, like it's not that big of a deal, but that's because all this is new to everybody. It just became a threat. So every other state that hasn't banned it is in some sort of debate on it and just trying to get it passed. As I previously stated, every one of these distractions has a very simple solution. If you have to reach for something in the back, just pull your car over. It's really simple. If you want to eat before you get from place to place, just leave 10 minutes earlier. And if you say, oh, my lunch break is too short, well, grab your lunch and just bring it back to work and eat while you're working. I'm sure they'll understand. If you have to make a phone call, honestly, just don't do it. You really don't need to, or you could just pull over if it's really that important. If every driver practices better methods of driving and avoids being engaged in distracted actions while driving, then we can stay away from having things happen like that. If we just avoid all this, we can avoid thousands of lives, losing thousands of lives, and an even greater number of injuries and near accident experiences. Alright, here we go. So just watch this brief video on distracted driving.
Blah, 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 blah. Oops, hang on a sec. Oops, oh dear, sorry.
Alright. That just gives you a better view on distracted driving and hopefully keeps you away from doing it. So multitasking has become very popular in the United States. But just remember that when you're driving, you are already multitasking. Don't add more complications to the mix. And remember that changes can occur at any time. Just because you're on a straight road and the car ahead of you isn't 60, 80 feet ahead of you, doesn't mean that he won't slam on his brakes, and while you're going 60 miles per hour, you just jam right into the back of him and total your car. So hopefully next time when you're driving and you receive a text message, you will think twice about answering without pulling over. the side of the road. Thank you very much. Yay, yay.